defines great American leadership? It's a question we're asking this week as we're serving up some smarter starters. 3 things you should know that are happening this week that have to do with your money, your health, and also your nation. So let's start with the economy. The economic stimulus package or relief package or American Rescue Plan, it has a lot of different names, passed into law last week. And this week you may actually see money wind up in your account as the government issues these economic stimulus checks. What makes this bill different than the past is that we actually are seeing larger stimulus checks for certain individuals. So in the past it was $1,200 and then $600. Now it's $1,400 for you and potentially your dependents. So for you and let's say a teenager that lives in your household, total of $550 billion. So more than a quarter of this total $1.9 trillion package is going directly to economic stimulus checks and expanded tax credits. So even if you don't qualify for any of those benefits, the thinking for those that support this plan is a rising tide lifts all boats, right? So even if you don't get a check, maybe the customers that are important to your company do, and you get the benefit. Of course, there's plenty of people that are critical of economic stimulus plans as well, including the nonpartisan nonprofit Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget, who says that families that are already having 6-figure incomes and haven't lost any money during the pandemic will receive some of these economic stimulus checks, as well as city and states governments that actually have a surplus. And so they're worried about future debt. Doesn't matter who's in the White House, who's behind economic stimulus plan, there's always a debate about benefits versus negatives. That is going to happen no matter what. The bottom line is the money is moving this week. Also this week, states are expanding who can receive a COVID-19 vaccine. And this is taking different forms in different states. But in general, it means lowering the age requirement, let's say from 60 to 50. So in states like Florida, Texas, and Vermont, you're seeing lower age requirements, which means a broader swath of Americans can have access to the COVID-19 vaccine if they choose. On that note, we do have some news on vaccines. AstraZeneca created a COVID-19 vaccine along with Oxford University. We've covered this in the past. It's in emergency use in Europe and a few European nations, but several European nations have pulled back or suspended use, including Ireland this weekend, due to some concerns over blood clotting. The AstraZeneca vaccine has not been approved for emergency use authorization in the United States. In fact, it hasn't even applied for it yet, but we expect that application to come in the next several weeks, so it's just a story to keep an eye on. Finally, 2 major states and 2 high-profile governors to watch this week. I'm talking about the state of California as well as the state of New York. And even if you don't live in any of these states, it's really important to watch what happens there. California is the 5th largest economy in the entire world. So what happens in California impacts the entire nation as well as the global economy. And the same can be said for New York. New York is home to America's largest city, the epicenter for American business. So really important states. In California, this week is the deadline for a recall effort against Governor Gavin Newsom. And he's under fire for his COVID policies, amongst other things, but he could face a recall election. And that would be a challenge to whether or not he keeps his job as governor. In New York, the governor there, Andrew Cuomo, is under investigation for sexual harassment allegations. He's also under an impeachment investigation. He says he won't resign, but this is a quickly moving, developing story. And both of these stories are really important to watch for a few different reasons, not just the immediate effect on these 2 high-profile Democrat politicians who many thought had long future political careers in front of them, but also to watch who the Democrat Party supports and what lessons maybe are learned over the last year that are applied. The same can be said for the Republican Party. Just the other week, we were talking about Republican governors under fire for relaxing their COVID policies. So yes, every story is a little bit different and there's specifics that we need to flesh out. But if you look at the news cycle overall, there is enough criticism to go around. And since no one is spared, regardless of political party, that's what's really linking these news items, but missing from the news coverage, which is a broader question about what really defines great American leadership in 2021. This week, you're going to see the president and the vice president. They're going to hit the road. They're going to be talking about their economic policies and the plans for the future. So you're going to see an image of American leadership. But we've seen a lot of different images of American leadership over the last year. And what a year we've been through. So the question that I have for you is not a question about political party or policy. It's what qualities do you want to see in a great American leader in 2021. That's how we can go a little bit deeper with these news stories, a little bit more productive, a little bit smarter. As always, I look forward to your questions and comments on that, and we'll keep you updated on all the news items that you need to know on smarternews.com. Have a great week.